he did it online.
Oh, those are minuses. Shit. Those aren't add-ons.
I tell them on live.
So the
No. Well, you're right.
those are minuses.
That's my problem.
Is there how many are live?
Nobody. But it's recording and going out live. Katie was the only one who purchased the live stream. Yeah. I would make the meeting live, but I really don't want to do that.
Don't go live. We can record it. And
Yeah,
post
that's
it.
what's going on. All right, if we can have everyone's attention, we'll start our Brinson Town Hall meeting. We can have everyone's attention. We will start our Brinson Town Hall meeting.
So we took
Thank you.
We took a total of 14,400 in.
Okay. No. What did we? Did you took 9,600 plus? What did you take in? 5,000? I mean 500.
And 500.
So
About
it's roughly
43.
around 10,000. That 11,700 is expenses.
Right, but I'm saying these were expenses down here. So it was 9,000. You said 9,000?
9,600.
And I took in 480 something. And then you took in.
No. I didn't take it anymore.
Yes, you did. You took in. Oh no, this is.
Yeah.
So that's 1080.
Turn it off. I think it's on.
And
We
that would
want
be
to call
right,
this meeting,
because that's where the extra came from.
and
'Cause
right.
that
we want to
would be
get a
right.
motion to start our
'Cause we spent
Brinson
more than we took
2022
in.
meeting.
But we got that from the.
Can I get a
receipts.
motion? Motion.
Right.
We got a first
That one,
motion.
Right.
Can I get a second? Who's the second? Richard Ayers. All righty. You ready to do
Yeah,
it?
we're ready. Thank everyone for attending our Brinson Town Hall meeting. This one is going to be a little different from other ones. We are live streaming it, so we are on live stream, just so you know. But it is a paid live stream, so we will release that later. As far as later on, the voting for the Brinson Family Reunion will only be held in-house. If you registered to vote or registered for the Brinson Family Reunion, that's the only way you'll be able to vote. So that means everyone here. So without further ado, we'd just like to, again, thank everyone for attending the Brinson Family Reunion. We hope everyone's having a great time so far. As far as the committee, I'd like to issue an apology for earlier. I know some of us had fun on the cruise, but as far as the standards that we're looking for is the standards for your registration fee, that was not up to par for our committee. When we first started out to do this, of course, for the 2020 reunion, we had one back in 2012. It was the same company that we used. What we experienced today was just definitely not up to par, and we will take care of that with the office, with the Hornblower office, and we expect better for you all, and we want better for you all. So we as a committee hold ourselves definitely responsible in everything we do. In today's meeting, we're going to cover a lot of stuff. I will ask each person, if you have a phone and have a calculator on their phone, take it out. You're going to need it. We're going to go over some figures to show you how we get to places that we get to, how we get to figures, and how we are sometimes plus or minus on things. So this is going to be an interactive meeting. Later on, if you do have something to expound to the committee or into the audience, we ask you to step up to the podium. We do have another microphone here. Eddie, you have anything you'd like to add to?
I think that was well said, man.
Okay. So at this time, I'd like to expound a little bit on how we got to the 2020 reunion and holding it here in Chicago. Of course, back in 2018, it was voted on in Myrtle Beach that we would take the family reunion to Chicago. Unfortunately, half of those voting persons aren't here at this time. We'll have a prayer by, I'm sorry, by Uncle Norris. We'll have a prayer by Uncle Norris.
We're going to meet our minds and we're going to unify even more than we are united. Amen.
Amen.
God has brought us together, and He's going to unite us even more so that we can reach the peak of what He has purposed. He called us to be above only, and not beneath, the head and not the tail. Let us look to our Heavenly Father. O merciful, gracious God, our Father. You're in everything. You're the beginning and you're the end. Our fathers trusted in you, and here we stand. We trust in you. Thank you for these that you have provided foresight through, wisdom through, and have dedicated themselves to take the helm of this ship and lead the Brinsons on further. And now, Father, we trust in whom you have sent, the Holy Spirit.
That's what I took.
Melt our minds. Make us one. Grant now thy wisdom to these leaders. God, let them lead us, Father. We reach up now and receive only what you have provided. I bind every demon and every devil. Anything that come to hinder, you are bound and defeated. We grab the vision that our forefathers gave us. Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you.
Thank you for providing the way for us. Thank you for this lit legacy. We thank you now. We praise you now. Lord, right now, you're in the head of this meeting. We worship you. You're throughout this meeting. We thank you now, Lord, as we proceed further. Thank you. We thank you for what's before us. I believe what you say. No eyes have seen, no ears have heard the good things that you got set for us. Yes, Lord, and we march on. I better say amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Uncle Doris. So as we were saying, how we got here. 2018, there was a vote that went out. We voted online. We voted, the persons in Myrtle Beach voted also. Fortunately, we came with Chicago, but a lot of those persons aren't here at this point in time. And that concerns us as a committee. So we'll fast forward a little bit and we'll go back to that to cover that a little later. Of course, as we were planning for the 2020 reunion, we had a pandemic that got in our way, unfortunately. We put out an email to all the family asking, should we stand down on the 2020 reunion? And in that email, we also put that we were looking to reconvene here in Chicago in July 28th through 31st, 2022, which is next weekend, of course. So during that time, we were still planning. Some of our things changed, such as the hotel. This was not the original hotel that we were going to use. We were still going to do the cruise, and as I spoke earlier, that was not what we expected as far as that cruise is concerned. The multitude of things changed. Even for the hotel we were using, we were looking at maybe having something here in the hotel for the family, such as meals and things of that nature. But some things out of our control happened, and that was not able to happen. When it came down to it, of course, none of our committee members live here in Chicago, so it made it a challenge for us to do a lot of things. logistics just weren't there. I know myself and Eddie traveled here to meet with our family to try to do things, and we thank them for that. But we're here. We had to put out the figure of $135. And if everyone would just take their phones out right now, we'll go through the breakdown of where we come to for that fee. And, you know, I know some of you might think that's frivolous, but we want you to know what the committee has to go through to come up with things to make things go forward for you all. So, first and foremost, came up with $135, okay? If you paid online, there is a credit card fee that we have to add in there, right? So that brought it down to $130.78, all right? Within that, $130.78, our meal last night for adults was roughly all-inclusive. You have to add in gratuity. You have to add in taxes with that. So all-inclusive for adults is $35, okay? So if you're tracking with me for adults, then that 130.78 minus $35 away from that. Okay? We'll move on. For children, it was $10.95. We know their reunion fee was $115. All right, let's move forward to today's events. All right, so the cruise today was $65, and that's why we say it was definitely not up to our standards for paying the amount that we paid. We've paid similar to that in 2012, and it was an immaculate cruise in DC. So now subtract $65 from that. Okay, what does everybody have so far? Because I'm not at. Oh, okay, 30.78. All right. So now, what haven't we added in there? Tonight's dinner and t-shirts. Okay, and so how much did we budget for adults for tonight's dinner and t-shirts? So as a family reunion committee, we budgeted $30 per adult. Tonight's meal is $42 per adult. Okay, for children it's a little cheaper, $18. All right, and that $42 is all inclusive, like I said, taxes and fees. So what are you up to now? Okay, now subtract $10 from that. Okay.
T-shirt.
Right, for your t-shirt, all right? So I know you all are asking, where do we get this money from? We were blessed to have some monies left over for, and I'm not missing something. I'll get to that in a minute. Okay. So when you subtract that, and we had some monies left over from past reunions that we put into this. The room we're sitting in right now, don't add that into your reunion fee. But this room we're sitting in right now was $1,100 just for us to breathe air in here. And we're blessed to have the room, but you know, those are some of the things that we have to deal with. On another thing, so Friday night, you're probably, some of you asked, why did we change it from Gino's East? Gino's East only wanted to host us for an hour and a half. So feed roughly 80 people, hour and a half, and charge roughly $38, and then we would have had to come back here to finish out the rest of the night or what have you. And I know we did still come back here, but you know, we were able to handle mostly everything. So that's why we changed from Gino's East.
And it wasn't good.
Yeah, it was not good. If we went over the hour and a half, they wanted to charge another $1,200 just for us to be there. Okay, so, all right. So that's just some of the challenges we go through. So then let's go down to, and you know, we'll pass this around to other committee members. Transportation. All right. So as a committee, us not really being here in Chicago, we had to come up with something because we recognize the family. We also, you know, if you voted for Chicago, this is where we wanted to have it. We discussed scrapping it out of Chicago because it was, let's just say, hair pulling. I know most of us have dyed our hair up here because of the gray hair that it cost us, all the things we were going through to still put it on and things of that nature. But we're glad we're here still. So a conglomerate of things really got in our way. We could have easily taken today and went to Six Flags. Six Flags would have been near the price of the cruise today, but then that's 45 minutes away north, and still what would we have had to do? Then we would have had to add transportation back in there, and then thus up the family reunion fee. So I just say all that to say, you know, when we're coming up with the fees and things of that nature, it doesn't even take care of everything. We're trying to do everything we can to, you know, lessen the burden on the family. Roughly now, everywhere you go, as far as hotels are concerned, when it comes down to family reunion, it's going to be $150 to $200 a night for a hotel room. So that's just what we have to come up with. And when we're deciding on hotels, it's not just about, you know, where we're staying, location. We researched tons of hotels in this area downtown because we did want to be near the pier because we were doing a cruise. Now, while some say, okay, we weren't really near the pier, we were a mile away, but let's say we get a hotel down in closer to the pier, but they're only going to allow 60 people to sit in their ballroom. And we had 81 people register, so that doesn't factor in, you know, that helps us enough. So just a little bit of what comes down to our decisions and us making the best decision for our family. At this time, I'll turn the mic over to some of my committee members to discuss it more.
Open the floor.
We'll open the floor right now. As I said, when you come up to the podium, if you have something to say, please turn the microphone on, and we want to hear what you have to say. Don't be bashful. You're only here with family. Right now, there's only 1 million people on the live stream. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But please come up. We want to hear from you. Family, this is your family reunion. We're just a committee here to make it go forth. We're all the committee here to make it go forward, not just us that you see sitting up here. So we're also looking for more committee members, all right? We'd like to thank Tish for joining and the ones that we've already that we fellowshipped in, and we'll cover those people here shortly. They think that it starts in 2 years, but they started 2 days ago, really. So the floor is open.
Don't be,
Just hit it. There you go.
don't be bashful. Tell us what we need to make things better. Tell us.
It's not perfect by any means, all right? And, you know, we wanted to be better. I asked the question the other night, you know, as a committee, you know, could we do better? And there was a yes and no answer to that. So as a family, we can't do better without you all right? So we're asking you to come up, tell us your feelings, your thoughts. It's your money. It's all our money, but it was your money who made this happen. We're nothing without you all. Nothing.
Come on,
Come on, Jerona.
Come on.
Sharing something.
Both of y'all, come on up. Yep.
I just had some thoughts and ideas.
Cut it on, please.
Yeah, turn it on, baby.
Hit your button. It didn't come on.
There you
There you go. There you go.
Okay. Just want to share some ideas and thoughts I had before and while we were here, and I know some others brought it up as well. One would be to, in the future committee meeting, we incorporate some of the our younger family members. Okay. Like teenagers, because they know what they want to do or interested in, and they can give input as to what it is they want to do as well, because they don't want to do adult things, you know. What was some of the other ideas I had? maybe also have a volunteer in addition to the hosting committee, a volunteer committee that could be a support mechanism.
Not like a full-time commitment,
full-time,
but
like-
hey, when I show up, I got 2 hours, I can donate to the, to the committee to help out and do something.
Yeah,
Not a
just
deal.
volunteer for
Right.
wherever we're going.
Right.
And then whatever we do the next 2 years, be a different volunteer committee.
Gotcha.
Just like a support for the main one, so everyone doesn't feel like they're in it by themselves. Because we all have a part in it. So that's all I have as of right now.
Okay. Great.
So, yeah.
That was good. I was gonna put you on the spot.
I had heard Daryl mention about the funds, and thank God for the leftover funds, but even like having some fundraising. So maybe that will help to defray some of the costs. Like since our family reunion is every 2 years, maybe we can start doing some things to like keep pushing money towards the reunion. So maybe it helps the committee, and it also helps other families that might be struggling financially to get the money. So maybe it won't be so much pressure on families and the committee if we could find ways to raise money to kind of like keep pouring in so that the money doesn't run out or funds are so stretched that we can't have it as excellent or as nice as what we want to have.
To join the planning committee, right?
So fundraising ideas is a good one, and I think we can all just brainstorm and bring different ideas to the table about how we can do that. Also, and Sharon had mentioned it about the kids and just listening to some of them, even on this trip, they don't have anything for themselves, like the teens or the preteens. Outside of the pool, they want to have different things that they want to do for them. So I like the idea of having a young person on the committee, and I've heard that a lot even this year, that kids feel like the adults don't listen to them. So if we can like listen to their input and just hear them out and figure out how we can meet them in the middle. Also too, my kids are growing up now, but it's a lot of people that's in the family with younger kids, and sometimes it does get expensive because everybody's not on the same plane financially. So where it might not be a struggle for some, it is a struggle to others. And that's just how it is. We don't all have the same income. But if we found different places, even hotels, people like to feel like they're getting more bang for their buck. So if we find places, and because I remember a time when I felt like, okay, maybe if we had a hotel that did serve breakfast, okay, at least that's one meal that I feel like I don't have to pay for or fork out, especially if you have a lot of kids, if it's just not the adults. So I think that's one thing to factor in, and not just parents with kids, older, some of our elders too. I mean, people just like to feel like they're getting a little bang for their buck. Even if they're paying $200 a night for a room, it'll feel easier to release that if they have a breakfast included in that. So that's all I have for now.
Okay, what I was gonna suggest is the fact that, all right, I know like there's some events around here, maybe that reunion doesn't have to pay for, that's for the kids, you just say, like a 360 that's right around the corner. You can say like, all right, around 9 o'clock or 5 or 6 o'clock or something like that, you guys can go over there. You don't have to pay for it, but your parents can pay for it, but it's an activity for them to do to get out. And adults can sort of, hang and mingle if they want to, but the kids have a place to go, where they are. Maybe a volunteer to go with them just so that, they're not really tearing up the place like they see. So, just stuff like that. Like, I like the fact that we went over to the park so the younger kids can go and act, and that was nothing. We didn't have to charge anything like that. So it's a lot of like scoping out the areas, seeing what you can do that is, free. You just go and want to walk the block. The nighttime area, is where the adults or older teens or something like that, or not teens, but the older people want to hang out and go party, they can go party at their cost. Like, you're just trying to bring them together. And that's an option, just, there's a list of things to do, free time, we're doing this, but we're gonna have it together, just like you guys have did today, but it's just before we get here, to know what kind of activities are here to try to plan for prior to getting here.
Thank you.
Let's thank Holly for her input. Anybody else? I guess I'll be the next thing to come to you.
Turn that
To your
off.
table, you don't have to stand up.
Sharon,
We'd rather share.
turn that off for a minute. So we want to let us address some of those issues before we get too many on our plate.
I'd rather them come up to the podium rather than
Okay.
sit down. Yeah.
And so, first off, what I want to address, and again, as Dee Dee said, this is an exchange of ideas. First one I'm going to talk about is lodging. We don't control that. Well, let me say it this way. We control it to a certain extent. And so for all of the people, how many you say 1.3 million on live stream?
Yeah.
For the 1.3 million on live stream that didn't show up, they are detracting from our family. And what I mean by that is this: there's power in numbers. Okay? So I'm gonna use the 2014 because we planned it of DC. When we went to DC, my goddaughter was with me the day I went to that hotel. That hotel wasn't even built yet. I went up there, we went up there together, and I said, I can bring you 250 people. I can fill 200 rooms. She said, Mr. Brinson, I'll take that weekend business all day long, because in DC, business is Monday through Friday. So we were bringing her weekend money. So when we come in our numbers, we get to do more, we get to command more, okay?
And it follows you from year to year because those hotels go back and check the previous reunions.
We are using certain brands, so we can say, hey, we were just in Atlanta in 2012, we filled 200 rooms, we're gonna do this, we put this much in concessions, yada, yada, yada. Those event planners know. They're just like we do we have colleagues and we go to conferences, they do the same thing. If our name is synonymous with money, with power, with numbers, that speaks a whole lot. And so the concessions that we walked away with in DC, we didn't walk away with here, and that's okay. I'm not saying that's anyone's fault, but there's certain things that what I'm trying to say is hotel rooms are gonna cost what hotel rooms are gonna cost. But if we can come and we know the family's gonna show up and we can defray those costs down some. And there's certain things that we know we need, we want, right? And so we want to look for those things. And Dee Dee kind of touched on that in the fact of there's this trade space between, okay, we think we're going to do most of our activities here in this area, so we want to try to find a hotel in that area. But if the hotel can't accommodate those numbers, then we've got to find a different hotel. And so those are all those back channel, back scenes things that you don't get to see that we have to try to work out in order for us to support those numbers. And so that's just lodging. I like exactly what Jerona was talking about the teens. And this committee is open, so I'm switching subjects if you're not with me. But and so teens, you can get on this committee, your input is welcome. But I want to bring something up for my sister on the other end of the table. The reason why we need more committee members and the reason why this committee should change so often is because the ideas will change, the thoughts will change, etc. And so when my sister Letitia came to us, I remember the day she called me and we was on the road, and she called on Saturday and she's like, hey, I want to talk about the reunion, yada, yada, yada. And she started throwing out all these ideas that we hadn't thought about. And part of her ideas come from the fact that she has 3 young children. So that's what she's thinking about, is her 3 young children. I got 3 grandchildren now, and so I'm not thinking about that. But you get my point. And so all I'm saying is bring those ideas, come with your ideas. We're not going to turn down anything. Now we go back to the balance thing, which is we only get to see each other every 2 years. And so what I hear you saying is we need to actually keep our teens, our preteens, our children, we need to keep them involved, keep them engaged, and keep them active, right? They are part of this family too. And so no, they're not going to want to sit around this round table of 10 people and reminisce as much as we're going to want to do. But that takes the volunteering that was just mentioned by Sharon. Okay, and so we can build some time in. Like, let's look at this itinerary we built. Friday, all day Friday was completely open. That is your time to do whatever it is that you want to do, is whether that's entertain your children or not. However, I'm not saying that I don't like what my other sister brought up about knowing where the activities are and some things, and adding those things to our itinerary so that the parents are aware what is happening in that area. I think that is a very great idea. Thank you very much, Holly. You know, we're batting 1,000 over here. But,
That boss.
yeah, that's the B children. So I do like all those ideas, and all of us, if you walked up here now, you see we all got notes on our pad, and so we're going to take that for action. But I just wanted to comment, as a healthy debate is what we're doing here on what's best for our family. That's what we're talking about, okay? Floor is back open.
I mean, you guys go ahead.
Go ahead. You might
All
have to
right.
turn it up. Hit the button one time.
This one.
Yeah.
We're gonna open the floor back up anymore.
And we're asking you to still please come to the mic, not walk around. Unfortunately, yeah. We're losing.
Hey Sharon, take the mic.
No, have them come to the.
If it's somebody who needs it, yeah.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, family.
Good afternoon.
We say numbers is powerful. Okay, we have family coming from all parts of the country. Some drive, some fly in. Now, for those that drive in, parking is very essential. And if numbers speak, volume, is there some way that we can negotiate? If we pre-register the cars, we get some type.
It's dependent.
And let me stop you
on the
right there,
hotel,
Steve, because I want
though.
to
If the
comment on
hotel
that,
that own the parking,
because this is a perfect opportunity for that. And yes, you're right. Our challenge is twofold with it. First and foremost, a lot of the hotels, if you travel for work or if you don't, if you vacation, what you might have started to notice is that hotels don't run shuttles anymore. You see what I'm saying? And the reason why is it's not profitable. Let's not forget that we're in a capitalistic country called America. And so it's all about, so hear me out, I'm going somewhere with this. And so that's number one. However, it's worth the conversation. I'm not saying that we can't do, so now what they're doing is, if the hotel parking lot, or let me say this, if the parking garage is not connected to the hotel, it's not run by the hotel. So it's a third party. I'm not saying
deal
that
with
we
them.
can't have that conversation with them, because again, it's strength in numbers. Now, here's the hurdle that I was bringing up. Responsiveness from the family. Responsiveness. If I don't know you're coming, I don't have numbers. So, again, using the DC reunion as a comparative example, when we planned the DC reunion cruise, we had numbers. When we went to that cruise, we said, this is our number we're bringing, this is our budget. You come to me, I'm not coming to you. You see what I'm saying? We did that here. We started at 100. We said, hey, give us 100 seats. We want our own deck, just like we did in DC. We got crickets from the family. So we called them, they called back, hey, where's your money? We don't see any. So we had to drop the number down to 50. Then when the numbers started going up, we had to call back and say, hey, we're gonna bring 80 people. They said, we already gave that away. You see what I'm saying? We have to, there's a responsibility on our part, and that's all I'm saying. And so the short answer to your question is absolutely. We'll go have that fight. We'll go have that conversation with a parking lot and try to negotiate parking. But we need to know from the family, hey, I'm coming first and foremost, right? I'm committing, and I'm driving down. So that's something that is not on our website. And so that's something we can add is, hey, how are you traveling in, maybe, right? Are you flying in or whatever, and so forth and so on. And then that way we can get a feel for that, and then we can get a feel for what kind of bargaining chip we may have to talk to a parking
But we'll need to
garage.
know that also when we're in our planning phases. It's
Right.
too late when we get a month out,
Yeah.
because all of our contracts have been done
Right.
12 months before.
Yeah.
This is why I think we should start this a lot earlier as far as tomorrow.
Oh,
Reaching out.
you want to know how
Well,
many days it is? It's 735 days in between
Reunions.
reunions. If you ain't got nothing to do, count them.
I understand.
Because I did. And
Wait,
so,
it's
What I'm putting taking into accountability also is gas.
right.
You know, for the ones that
have drove.
have been on the road.
Right.
You know, and who's to say what's the gas price is going to be 2 years from now?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And we don't really do the contracts about.
Yeah, we're not arguing that.
Yeah.
And it's a great point. But again, we need to know sooner rather than later. You know what I mean? And
Because when I got here Thursday, and they told me $55 to park my car.
yeah,
Oh, gee, man.
yeah.
Well, we put that out in our Zoom calls and things of that nature, that parking was going to be there. But to your point, I also want to say that a lot of this stuff comes from previous years. So without us even saying anything to the sales office here at the Hilton, they called Myrtle Beach DoubleTree and found out how many people we had last year, how many rooms we had, in 2018. And that's the number they're going off of. They wouldn't even let us, originally we had asked for 100 rooms at the previous hotel that we were going at, and that's usually what we book every night, in previous reunions. But, what they came back and said, oh, you only booked this number of rooms in Myrtle Beach.
And that was a low.
And that was a low count. So I guess what we're saying is we want to try to get as many people to the reunion as we can, because our previous numbers affect going forward. And I know we've said that already, but it truly affects us going forward. And it's hard to argue with numbers. It's really hard to argue with numbers. We understand the whole parking bit and the whole, gamut of that. We'll fight that battle.
Yeah, and let's add this point to the parking. Again, we try as a family to transition north and south each reunion. We only have to address parking when we come north.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that's just a northern thing, which tend to be, our larger cities. And so I think, but it's still worth addressing. So let me say that.
And to help your point, and it goes back to what I was saying yesterday, like, here shortly, we will, entertain nominations for the 2024 Brinson Family Reunion. So if you're going to stand up and, nominate whatever location that you like to nominate, it's going to take work from yourself, And I'm just telling you as frank as it can be, because, if it's not in Orlando, Philadelphia, or Virginia, then, our committee members, we do this and this is not to dig at anyone, we do this for free. We try not to take any funds to travel to places to help, get contracts, see where we can go, to take everything. So we do need that help. If you're going to host, it's going to take some sweat equity, and you running around, we'll do what we can to support you and help you, but, those are factors that go into where we're going, what hotel we're going to be at, and all kind of stuff. It's not just, okay, we'll go here and do this, and then when everybody arrives, like, their money is, like, for naught, so.
Okay. Let's be clear.
You still good. Unless you want to sit down.
The purpose of this committee and the whole object of this committee was set up to assist whoever wanted to host the reunion. Not the committee to set up the reunion and do everything. So we're gonna go back to the beginning. The purpose of this committee is to help whoever, it didn't matter who, but whoever wanted to host the committee, you had support from a team that's gonna make it happen. You had the connections, you had the phone numbers, you had this, and you had that to host it in your city and to make it easier on you. And to make it easier on our family. This committee is set up to keep the family functioning and together and rolling. I said here, we have a lot of conversations, and some of you brought up some good points today. It was like, we want to have everybody have a voice in the room. That's what this committee is about. Whether you're a teenager, you're a young kid, or whatever, we want to hear it all. Everybody need to have a voice in this room. We ain't turning down no committee members or none of that. So if you got a good idea, guess what? We need people from 10 to 20. I ain't 10 to 20. It's just like Ed was saying earlier. I mean, we think about grandkids, we ain't think about that. So this committee is set up to work across the board for every age group. We need people 60 to 70. What y'all want to do? 70 to 80. I mean, at the end, to be honest, because I can't think of stuff with y'all, hey man, did y'all think about this? We can't get there. Did y'all do this and do that? I mean, we consider that, but come on. We have to have involvement, and we want involvement because I believe, and I'm going to sit here and tell you what I believe. I believe in my foreparents. I believe they had ideas, and I believe their responsibility, and I can sit here and tell you, was family. They always push family. Family, family, family. You know why? Because Eddie said earlier, family is members. When you get enough members together and you keep family, that's what the world's trying to destroy right now is family. Because they know it's power. They know it's power. So if they can destroy that, they got it won. I remember when I was growing up, they say, hey, I remember it was a family called the Johnson. I don't care how mad you got it. They say, man, you better not go there messing with the Johnson. It's what? There's too many of them. Don't do that. You go over there and mess with them. Don't mess with them. And I'm pretty sure some of you guys and everybody in the room probably don't experience that too. Don't go messing with them. And then you start combining the Johnson with this family. Guess what? They done even got bigger. Then people in your area want to become part of what? Your tribe and your village. So your family even get bigger whether they kin to you or not. So what we're saying here today is we need everybody involved. That's what it comes to at the end. And family will prevail. Family will prevail. How long this duty is we have, we don't know. We talked about that. I talked to some of you guys about the COVID. We talked about this and this. We had voices in the room to hear that. Hey man, did y'all, yeah, we thought about the COVID. Did we think about moving into 2024? Yes, we thought about that. You know, because of the COVID in this. So a lot of things and a lot of conversations happen. But I'm sitting here telling you guys tonight, we need more voices in the room. Everybody needs a voice in the room. The young kids, which Jerome said, I mean, everybody needs a voice in the room. So there's no limit on the age that people can be in this committee. We need to hear that. I mean, I see young kids, I ain't familiar with this phone. I see some of them doing stuff I can't do. You know what I mean? Coming up with ideas I can't think of. At the end. So what we asking here tonight is for involvement from the family. And to understand what makes this stuff happen. And we want to keep it happening. That's the bottom line. We want to keep it happening and keep growing.
I appreciate feedback, but my question, well answered, you all are considering and looking into it, right?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, we got you. That wasn't at you. It was family wide. Yeah.
Oh man, I didn't even hear the word. I was out in the hall. Stay in.
Yeah, parking and all that stuff. So, yeah.
I hope that helps. No, I ain't putting you out.
Parking and gas going up.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
I am still here, daughter of Lucy Florence, Brinson and daughter of Toll Brinson. And I would like, when people come up, if y'all could just tell your name, because we don't know each other. Some of us we don't know. And I am from Atlanta, Georgia. I also want to remind, first I want to say to the committee, I have enjoyed this reunion. And I think you have to host the reunion to have appreciation what you have to go through. It's not easy. I want to also remind you, it's really the fourth weekend of July that we host the reunion. This July we have 5, so and sometimes people we do forget, but it's always the fourth weekend. I also want to say to the young people and those who have not been involved, you know, the old sisters have gone up there in heaven. When we were small in the 60s, 70s, you know who prepared the meals?
Yes.
Do you know who prepared the meals?
Yeah.
When you go to any restaurant, you didn't have to pay any money. The sisters prepared the meal. Home cooked meal in the backyard. Okay? So just remember that. The second thing I want to say to the family, this is a new world. We are post-COVID-19, and things have changed, and things cost a whole lot. You have to decide your priority and what you're willing to pay for. If you want a real nice family reunion, you're gonna have to pay for it. You gotta pay. Champagne. And you said about if you want this Saturdays people to be involved. And my response to you is that we bring the grandchildren, and I encourage all the grandparents to bring your grandchildren. Another thing in regards to the finance, some of us have done quite well. And I would just encourage those who can donate. And just donate to this family. And we can then we can pay for some other people to come who can't afford it. Because it is, when you got 4 or 5 kids, and you stay in Georgia, and you're trying to get your family up to Chicago, it's expensive. So we do need to we are family, and those of us who can contribute, just do it. If you have a family member in the city where you live, you know that person won't come, they can't afford, they don't have all the money. Maybe you help them come to the reunion, because it's all our responsibility. And I really like what you all are saying in regard to this is the family, it's our responsibility, and we can make it happen. Another thing, I think you want to look at what we've done in the past and what worked. Because we did have some big family reunions. One thing, we had hosts, people, whoever city was in, that family hosts and planned everything.
Yep.
And you know your city. And you know what's available. And I think that worked. So I do hope that we can get back doing that. I like having a national committee as well, helping and coordinate things. Another thing, we increased our numbers by involving another branch of the Brinson.
Talk to him.
But I'm glad you're here, but we've lost some of those people. And I think it's very important that we include everybody, James Branch and Toll Branch.
Yep.
We need to make, whenever we have a reunion, it should be equal. If we honor someone from Toll Branch, I think we should honor someone for James Branch.
Exactly.
That makes people feel like they appreciate it and they're involved. And we need to get some more history. That's important. I think it's important, there's a lot of Brinsons around here. But my thing is that we got to know how we are all connected.
Absolutely.
And so I understand we got someone to head of our committee.
I'm going to address that as soon as you finish.
I do have some information that I can share with the committee, but I am one of the seniors now.
Don't say that out loud.
We are now, the first cousins are now standing right in line. Like I said, the sisters and the brothers, they're up in heaven looking down on us. And I like what Bernard said, and then I'll sit down. The sisters and the brothers, they were about family. We did not see each other that much, but we knew of each other. We knew each other. And you got to tell your children about your family. That's very important. But there's some things that have happened to this family, but because we knew where our family members were, we was able to pick up that phone and call that family. Hey, my child is in your city, been in an accident. No, but I don't know what's going on. Will you go and find it? What's going on? I went to Connecticut, didn't know anybody, but I knew I had family. And they took good care of me. Well, how many of you can say that you can go to a city, you have a family member and not be afraid? I was young. That was my first time being away from home. But I knew my cousins. And I knew they were going to take care of me. So we have to realize that we are family. We need to be more unified. And I'm just glad that we have this committee. And I really appreciate what y'all have done. And I would like to see it continue. And I guess the goal should be to regroup And the goal is to continue to grow, to rebuild. That's what we really need. That's where we are, is rebuilding. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is good. Glory to God. The Lord is blessing us right now that our minds would synchronize and unite. We're going higher. Somebody say higher. Higher. Come on, say it again. Higher. Higher. God is blessing this family right now. We're succeeding. I want to reinforce something that Uncle B instilled in us when I was a young man. He had the vision of commitment, and that's what I hear coming from this committee tonight. What we really, really need to do is consider, each of us consider in this room, we commit to sacrificing for who we are. If we don't love who we are, we can't sacrifice. The fact is, consider our family as a chain. We're no stronger than the weakest link. If we look at it like this, then we will pause and recommit to what we've been given. We've been given a chance. It's going to be what we make out of it. So that's all I need to put on the table. That sounds fair.
Fair.
I want to go back to my seat now, but I want to trust you that you understand we got to bring commitment to the survival of the family.
Right. That's right.
Family first is what Uncle B instilled in me.
Yes. Yes.
I used to be wild and crazy. And just like Sheila said, I took off up north and Uncle B is where I landed. And it was a little boy, but Uncle B vision was where we at today.
Yes. Yes.
Somebody able us to be the people we are. We're admired.
Yes.
People, families want what God has blessed us with. Now it's in our hand to sustain it, and what this committee is doing, carrying it forward.
Yeah, that was.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We should be ready to go. Come on, sir.
Praise the Lord, saints. Praise the Lord, saints. That's what I'm talking about. The Lord been good to us all this weekend, and I thank the Lord to just be here, because this is my first family reunion. I thank the Lord I made this family reunion. We had the physical food. Now, in the morning, we got to get the spiritual food. The spiritual food, the nurses for your body. And I thank the Lord for everything, and I thank the Lord for my godmother, Mother Jane, and I thank the Lord for all my aunts, everybody here. Thank the Lord for each and every one. I know there's a committee, but the thing about it, want to be stronger. Stronger is, it's unity, it's love in this family. And, ideals. One ideal I want to bring up, we have to, like Jerome said about breakfast in the morning, but the thing about it, I think it would be a good thing about a grab bag. If you don't have hotel have breakfast, have a grab bag, because I'm a chef myself, and back home I work for homeless chef too. I'm a chef, a homeless chef.
Who would be responsible for that? The hotel or?
Like the grab bag, you know what I mean? When you do your package with your shirts and stuff, you might want to have your grab bag for your breakfast or whatever it is. They grab and go. And sometimes you can put a sandwich in there,
Right.
put a little orange juice or something.
Yeah.
Y'all pray my son.
Thank you, sir.
How y'all doing, family?
Great.
It's Kevin Brinson. I reside here in Chicago. A lot of my family come from Lumpkin, Georgia. You know, I reached out to some of the family, you know, ahead of time.
We'll work it out.
Kevin Brinson. And it's just by me doing my due diligence on in technology and stuff that I reached out to Ancestry DNA. And because I reached out to Ancestry DNA, that's how I found Chandra. I found her. I said, you got a match on there. You got a cousin on there. So we had never met each other in person or anything. But she hit me up. She said, my brother on his way up to Chicago. He gonna be up there for work, but can you show him around when you get here? As soon as he got here, I went right over to the hotel, got him, took him around. You know, I own my own record label. I'm the person, the CEO of Seawall, that put out Twister, Do or Die, and a bunch of other artists here in Chicago. But I'm also a developer also. I'm building brand new homes on the west side of Chicago also. They just did a segment on CBS about the work that we're doing, you know. And so I was taking a look at the website for the family reunion, and I say, this is great. I say, I need to probably get them a little bit of input on it because I know it existed for this family reunion because when I started doing searches, I saw other stuff for other Brinson family reunions. But I think we only need like one website now. And just keep that website and just update it. That's all. Just update it. Even put links on there if you want to start researching all our family where you can find more of our family. Because we everywhere. I done researched our DNA and I done took it all the way back to Nigeria and Ghana and Mali and stuff, you know. But I just want to give y'all that information and let y'all know y'all got a lot of family here. We make a lot of things happen. If we can make a lot of things here inexpensive, the next go around or something, let us know what we can do. We can get help. I'm a technology guru. That's what I got both of my degrees in. So I can help in any way possible. You know, just let me know.
Good evening. My name is Carl Brinson. My father was John Wesley Brinson from Georgia, Stewart County, Lumpkin, Georgia. I'm from Chicago, Illinois, West Side. I didn't know about all this was going on. I got into the last minute. I guess that's probably the other side of the Brinson thing. We just connected. I think I did maybe with this brother here when he was in D.C. when we was back in 12. We was in Atlanta and stuff like that. Was connected, but somewhere we got disconnected. I just kind of apologize. Well, I apologize. I guess what you don't know you can't do. I didn't know that it was coming to Chicago. Like I'm a lifelong in Chicago. I reside all my life on the West Side. I'm president of the West Side branch of WCP here in Chicago and stuff. I wish I would have known. We could probably did a better job of making you guys feel better and be more wholesome. So we just fell short based on not being connected, not understanding who we are and where we are and where everybody else is located. But we could have, we could have made your stay a little bit more hospitable. We could have made it a little bit probably more cheaper. I mean, it's something we could have done. You know, you can't do what you don't know. So we just need to be connected and be looped in and make sure we loop people in and stay in contact with each other. So I just want to let you know, welcome to Chicago. Hope you enjoy yourself. I know you enjoy yourself because you're Brinson. So congratulations, welcome home. Thank you.
Yeah, say what you. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Now, these are from my branch here. Wesley Brinson is our great-grandfather, okay? And Jim Brinson was my grandfather. Willie Brinson was my father, who passed away 6 months ago, approximately 6 months ago. But that's some of the history. And you know, I know most of you here are from Abram's children. So Abram, then you have Abram Jr. Abram Jr. and Tob, okay? And that's where everyone come from. But we all come from Amanda and Abraham Brinson. Amanda Potter and Abraham Brinson, who came from North Carolina. They were brought to Georgia. They were both born in 1785, if you want to go back in history, 1785. And they had, on record, 4 sons. The oldest was Matt Brinson.
Second oldest was a James Brinson. Somewhere down the line, I guess, this is slavery. Children can be taken away. They can find one another later on, okay? Then they had, in 1826, my great-great-grandfather, Jim Brinson. So the family is large. And we talking about building the tree. And we talking about establishing a historical branch of the committee. And Sheila is what's your daughter's name again? Khadijah Head, right? We had conversation on the phone. So make sure she get on that committee too, okay? And Rich, I don't know if you remember, you, Ron, Johnny, a few others in Detroit, we were having that conversation about all this, building a committee and so forth. Because I know what it takes to organize a family reunion. So we have it every 2 years. It takes 2 years to plan. Okay, so once we decide tonight what the next reunion is going to be, the planning starts tomorrow. It starts tomorrow. What we didn't have, is Mona still here? She's gone? Oh, there she go. Mona, my wife, Angela, here today. We planned a number of reunions in Buffalo and Niagara Falls. They were wonderful and they were beautiful reunions. So we didn't have a committee to support us. So we got an IT department. We have an accounting department. We're going to have a historical department. So all that information is going to be there. So like you guys said, whomever decide to have the reunion, host the reunion, there's a lot of work that has to be done, but you need to know that you're going to have support from a committee, which is going to change a little bit. Eddie, you retired?
He just changed the title.
We're going to keep them on. But we didn't have as many family members at this particular reunion as we are accustomed to. But I was speaking to one of my cousins last night. I said, I don't care if it was 20 people here. I'm going to enjoy my people regardless. You understand? It's about the experience. And if we're going to make a change, it's going to be us that make it, okay? And we, as far as raising money, for one, yeah, man, a lot of us struggle. But remember this, we got 2 years to plan. You know what I did? I rolled up $300 worth of quarters before I came here. No joke. No joke. Because, some of us do well, like you said. Sheila, I'm not one of those. I need all the help I can get. But we can do fundraisers, okay? Because where you live? Yeah. Florida. Get the family together in Florida. Say the reunion's going to be wherever in 2 years. 2 years from now. We got 2 years to raise money. What we used to do in Buffalo? We used to wash cars. We used to cook hot dogs and sell them, raise money, because we couldn't afford it. So that afraid of cost, that's what we did for them. Ain't that right, Mona? We did it at your house, in the parking lot. Your water. Exactly. Your water. We had functions where we charged people to come and have a good time. And, we sold food there. We had raffles and all of that. That's information you're going to start getting from the committee. How to raise money. Ain't that right? How to raise money. You understand? Just keep this in mind. You got 2 years. And I had family members in Buffalo be like, oh, we ain't got no money. Can you do something for us? I said, you had 2 years to plan. You know what I'm saying?
Just to speak to your point, is that when you did those fundraisers, nobody up there had to tell you to do it, right?
No.
You can get together, you can have your own ideas get together, and so that instead of 2 families coming from Buffalo, now it's 20 deep.
Right.
Families, right?
Absolutely.
Even if your money that you raise is to bring more people from Buffalo there.
Yeah.
Everybody can do that. So and we've done it in Boston.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
But but we can take that for granted as well, right? A lot of family members may not be thinking that. Because when you're struggling, you're just trying to survive. You know what I'm saying? You're just trying to survive, do what you can day to day. But that's a good point. So let's get a newsletter out to all the family members. Okay? Let's get a newsletter to all the family members so that they are informed and know what's happening. So reunion is going to be in Chicago. Okay? Because how many we got a lot of family members in Chicago.
And we send out.
A lot of family members in Chicago. We got family all over the place. And through the
we send the newsletter out and we track who receives it and who opens it.
And we connected also, and we're finding out more and more information. So with that said, what time dinner tonight?
Dinner's at 8 o'clock. I want to address a couple of quick things that Will said really fast, because as Will was talking about, me and Will was chopping it up last night, and Will told me something that I went to bed on, and I told my wife about it this morning, and he was saying that there's over 400 family members, Brinsons, up and around the Buffalo area. Now that goes back to my cousin, who was just talking about coming to Boston and his Uncle B, and about how family is and how we got to get connected. And so my thought was, which my other sister, they just popping up. Y'all see I got a lot of sisters. My other sister just said locally we can do things to help offset that, because what becomes challenging is, as a committee, we don't have this accounting arm, right? And so we really don't want that money coming to us. If it's locally grown, this comes back to something Dee Dee says all the times about state captains and so forth. So look, if you don't want to call a state captain, if you don't want to be the leader, if you find some leader, or you get together somehow and you're doing something to raise money, as Sheila said, to offset that cost from just maybe that state, we're going to put more people in this room, right? So I think we gotta take that. That blew my mind last night when Will said that. That just blew my mind, and I'm thinking, how do we get them here? How do we get 400 people here? Do you know how much power we have if we put 700 people in a room?
Shoot.
Man. So anyway, think about that, and he's right, and go there. In this history committee, I don't know how we missed this whole Chicago family. I'm just right. And then last thing I'll say is about a newsletter. And so, again, we already talked about this, about communication. We have got to be responsive, family. We've got to respond. We send out emails, but we don't hear things back sometimes. And sometimes when we hear things back, they aren't so nice.
Let me say something to your point. And to Eddie's point, please don't say you didn't get it, because the software we use tracks who gets the email, who opened it, and everything of that nature.
We know you got that email. Now, whether or not you opening your email and reading them, that's all on you, but we know it was delivered to your inbox.
Yes.
Okay, but anyway, that aside, what I'm saying, also, we've got to have good contact information. So, Carl, before you leave here, we got wrapped. We need to make sure we get updated so this don't happen again. I mean, that's how we have strength in numbers.
That's what I'm saying.
We just missed that entire boat. So,
The baby got something to say.
what you got, babe?
I have a question for the teenagers, well, younger kids and people. What would it take for us to be on the committee?
To join it?
Not to be like on the committee, but like once we were on it, what do we do?
Your commitment, generating questions, interest, your ideas.
Yep. Doing the searches for, like, hey, when we go to the next city, I'm gonna research all the things that we can do. Where's the nearest skating park, or where's the nearest
Things that are of interest to
yeah,
you.
things that interest you guys, and you bring that to the committee and say, hey, we want to put this on the itinerary of these are things to do. and
Rounding
places
up
to
the
go.
teenagers, getting all their
Rounding them up.
emails and things, so you
Yeah.
can start a link, a network between you guys.
Like a group chat.
Powerful.
Or something. Like hashtag Brinson Family Reunion Teenagers or something.
You volunteering?
She is. She shook her head. One last thing before we move to the next part. And our meeting is never over. As long as we're here as family, and even when we leave here, if you have questions, you have something you want to add, we're always available, bfrcommittee@gmail.com, and we will get that out to the rest of the committee members, and we'll take all of your ideas and thoughts and apply those things to help our family be better. One thing, we do all we can to make sure that our website, brinsonfamilyreunion.com, stays up until the next reunion. So it's always up. Make sure you go on there and check it out. If you can't find it, people say we've heard, I'm not on Facebook, okay? Got that taken care of. We're on brinsonfamilyreunion.com. That website has been up for years. So make sure you go on there. Not only on there, if you click on the family reunion or family tree tab, you can go in there, you can update your information, your mailing address, your phone number, and things of that nature. There's a list on there to do that on the Google Drive or Google Sheet. So make sure you do that, family. We need you. We need you. We're, like I said earlier, we're no stronger.
Take care of the seniors because they're not on.
Right. And also, if you have a parent who you know is not online, that's different from Mary because she graduated from her IT class not too long ago. But if you have a parent who's not online or what have you, update that information for them. You know their information because you go over there and eat all the time. If y'all are saying all the time.
Make sure they get the information.
Right, and make sure they get all the information. So we thank you. We thank everyone for your input. And like I said, as long as we're here, we're going to keep on receiving your input. So when we adjourn this meeting, it still continues, all right? We're all brainstorming to help our family move higher and higher, all right? Thank you. At this time,
Let's get to the vote.
we'd like to open the floor, and we're asking, please, as I said earlier, if you nominate a place, you're not just nominating, you are saying that you are going to do the work along with the host Brinson Family Reunion Committee to make it a very successful reunion. You're not just saying bring it here and then I'll enjoy it. We want you to enjoy it, but we're also it's work to do, all right, as others have said. So we're gonna ask you to step to the podium, nominate your location. We also want to know why you would like it there. And let's try to do it as expeditiously because we are pushed for time. Once we have all the nominations, we have a form here that we will ask everyone to vote throughout the night and vote one time. We will get you that form so you can vote on the next place for the reunion. And more than likely, we will announce it tonight after dinner or during dinner on the next location. So at this time, I'd like to open the floor. Please step up to the podium if you'd like to nominate the place, thing of your choice.
Dun, dun,
Oh, you stood up.
I was trying to stand up, but you beat me to it.
Turn the mic on, please.
I am Essence Sorrells. I am the granddaughter of Bertha Sorrells Brinson, who is the daughter of OB. So I want to nominate Tampa, Florida.
Yes, and why?
I want to nominate Tampa. One, it is really up and coming. It has a lot to do. It has a lot of things for children to do. It has Busch Gardens, it has Adventure Islands, it has children museums, it has aquarium, it has zoo. It has the beach, which is free. Somebody was talking about costs, the beach is free. You might have to pay for parking. Right? So we have entertainment, we have Ybor City, we have cigar lounges, we have the casino, right? That's right. We have a lot to do. We have a lot of entertainment. We have a lot of rooftop bars. We have anything you want for teenagers. We have skating rinks. We have IMAX theaters. We have whatever you want to do. We have it available. So vote for Tampa.
And we have you ready to host, right? Correct? All right, great. Floor is open for the next interest location. Did she just really say? Really? No, she said 2026. She said 26? Yeah.
Come on, Tish.
You going 26? Yeah.
24. Who's nominating Savannah?
Nobody, Savannah. Closest.
Okay.
Are we gonna do Savannah?
Anymore?
The floor is open.
Going once, going twice.
I thought somebody said
Yeah,
Georgia.
let's look at Savannah. No?
I thought somebody said Georgia. Oh, I thought somebody said.
Oh. Okay. She's saying 2026, huh?
2026.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
I think we do.
Yeah, she said her committee ready for 20.
Huh? Do you want to throw in Savannah just to...
Do fishers, there's plenty of fishing.
I think
we go by default.
Also, we have a dinner cruise like similar that we had today. We also have that available, so don't look like I have no competition.
Tampa it is.
We might be in Tampa.
Going once. So, let's go to dinner.
All in favor of the 2024 Brinson Family Reunion being in Tampa, Florida, raise your hands. The ayes have it. 2024 Brinson Family Reunion will be in beautiful Tampa, Florida. Go Buccaneers.
We need a slogan by the end of dinner.
Tom Brady can go back to New England. Even though I'm a Buccaneer fan. So we'd like to thank everyone, as I said, for your participation tonight. We're trying to get out of here in a timely manner. We said we end by 7. We know we didn't start on time, but just any last minute, anything you'd like to say at the podium. I'll open the podium up for 2 minutes if anyone has anything before we adjourn.
Yeah, the two.
No, it's more than 2, actually.
3, right?
It's more than that. It's more.
Sharon.
If I could have
Will.
everybody who got a handshake from me.
Jerona. 4.
So let's bring Will up. Let's bring the Clayton young ladies up, the troublemakers. Let's bring Jerona up.
And Gabby.
Zoe, come on
Gabby.
up. I mean Gabby. I'm sorry. Sorry. Gabby. All right.
Whoa!
Right-handed fellowship.
Right-handed fellowship, girl. Right-handed fellowship. All right.
Y'all right-handed.
just so you know, you're making a commitment in front of your family, in front of God. We thank you for your help. Your help is truly needed, and we hope that you make our family reunion bigger and better. All right? So we're going to hold each one of you all to that.
Oh, I'm gonna get some evidence.
We're going to hold each one of you all to that, but we are.
You better turn around, girl. Oh, I got it this way.
Come together. Come together.
Hey, Will, you might want to say that out loud. All these women, where men at?
So we will officially have the titles for them, which committee they're on, and we will disseminate that in the newsletter that we talked about a little later. So, all right. Thank you all.
Hello? I was just going to ask about communication because I know that came up again a lot, and maybe the email is not the best method of communication for everyone. I know we have to kind of stick to one single communication, but does anyone have a better suggestion on how we should stay connected so that we get more response rates on different topics?
I think we should do like the house users do. You know, they use multiple communications, as far as email, text message, and also mail system. So I don't think something's wrong with using three different things.
Yeah, the mail system costs them. It comes back.
Okay, he's saying whatever communication we do, first step is to update your information online, or if you want to do it in person, we need to update information. They do Facebook, they do emails, text. We just ask, again, it goes back to state.
We're on all
We
social
ask,
media.
because if you're in the same state, usually you connected to the media Brinson family to reach out to those in your state. We always tell, please reach out, like when we did Zoom. Tell the others to get on for the Zoom because you're connected to your family. And me and Viv actually was texting out and was like, okay, we take such. And we need you to do the same thing. You text, 7 people were actually like 7 or 10 people, something like that. Everybody, we got a good number, but it could have been better.
And the whole thing is if you know, then your sister should know, and your cousin should know, and your auntie should know. The problem with mailing things out, the problem for us with mailing things out was we were getting so many letters back. And stamps right now are so expensive. So it's better almost when we're putting it out via email, on all of the social medias, on the website. Anybody can go to the website. I know our seniors aren't always on there, but I know their daughters or sons or granddaughters are. So we just have to stay connected that way.
One last thing. So if you register for this reunion, for, of course, the 2022 reunion, we're going to be selecting some of the state captains out of those lists. So be looking for an email or a call from us. You're going to be the representative for your state. That's how we'll help with communication, plus emails, and we're asking for your support. If you love your family, I think we'll all do what we need to do to make sure we disseminate that information, and you have the committee to help you with that. So, at this time, before I adjourn, I'd like to call up Anaris up to give us our prayer or our blessing for our dinner tonight. We will be at the Rock Bottom Brewery, which is around the corner from the Hard Rock Cafe for dinner tonight. That starts at 8, so it is 7:03 at this time. So and we're asking you to wear your favorite team t-shirt tonight. We will have games, things of that nature. Bring your thinking cap. It's going to be a lot of Rock Bottom Brewery.
It's on here.
So.
Let us thank the Lord. Father, You have blessed us this evening. We've unified even more, synchronized. We honor you. We ask you, and we did receive. We're leaving so grateful for the blessing of unity, the strength in your love. And Lord, we promise to glorify you in our obedience. Again, we thank you for these leaders. We thank you for every constituent. We can't thank you enough. Father, we also ask you to go before us as we dine. Be the invited guests at every table. Lord, we sanctify ourselves. We are the people that you have redeemed. We also sanctify the food in the name of the Lord Jesus.
Amen. Just a few housekeeping duties. Tomorrow, church will start at 9 a.m. in the morning back in this room. 9 a.m. Promptly at 9 a.m. So we do have some persons leaving tomorrow. So we're going to have our closing ceremony and things of that nature after that point in time. If you'd like to take a picture with the quilt, you'll be able to do so after dinner tonight and also tomorrow. So as you go prepare for dinner tonight, our senior citizens, we'll make sure you have transportation over to Rock Bottom Brewery. We will have the floor to ourselves tonight. So get ready for game night, bring your thinking cap on. All right? Thank you. Yeah, I'll get at Carolyn to see what size. Carolyn.
Are they going to be there tonight?
Yeah, they're staying right there. We can still, I can do it off my computer and just internet now.
Okay, Doc. Come on, Doc.
Y'all don't leave yet, though. Let's see.
You know what? I've been to a lot of those churches in Buffalo, New York. I didn't know y'all had relatives there.
Oh, we got a lot in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Huge in Buffalo.
I didn't know that, but I know most of those, the people that they married, the couple over there.
People, what?
The one from Buffalo.
She's a brother.
They married the preacher that he's dead now, but he married them.
Oh, okay.
He was from Wichita.
Daryl, the pad I gave you, I took notes.
Yeah, I'm gonna put them all together. Yeah, okay, thank you.
I'm like, we ain't got no secretary.
I know, no.
You said extra large or 2X, right? Oh, yes.
For Allison, 3X.
Well, yeah, this is him. Hanging on. Maybe it's a kind of break. You all will serve as the executive board.
Oh, we've thought about it, and we had talked after the 2018 reunion about doing it, and then it fell off. But I brought it up again the other night, so we could make it happen. Yeah.
Because I really want to see education on
Right, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. Educational, more of a business center.
Yes. That's why I didn't say nothing.
Right.
You got to get organized to do that, and it's important for the longevity.
You already incorporated, but yeah, so, but it's just, you get into that business aspect. Right. Oh, yeah, we'll do it.
And all this here is being accepted and it's
Right. We'll do that. We'll do that. We'll talk more about it.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know what? I become the chair of the and that's what we do. That's it. Okay, we are able to talk about the and then that's what right. We're not that we need to get out there and do something. Okay. All right. It's good.